The film opens with Jess at home with her autistic son, Tommy. We watch as Jess goes about cleaning up after her son. Suddenly, there is a buzz at the front door. Jess goes to see who it was but finds no one there. Asking a neighbor who was working in his yard, he claims he didn't see anyone. Sometime afterward, Jess goes down to the nearby harbor where she accepts the invitation of a friend named Greg to go sailing on his boat. Accompanying him are Victor, Heather, and the couple Downey and Sally. Greg had also invited Jess to bring her son Tommy with her, but when he asks Jess where he is, Jess hesitates for a moment, before saying he's at school. The crew seems to be sailing along okay when the wind suddenly dies down. Also of question is a strange electrical storm that is steadily approaching. Greg tries to radio the Coast Guard but finds their communications wavering. Another communication comes across, but Greg's request for coordinates of this unknown communication soon gives way to more static. The storm soon reaches the boat, which capsizes, but not before Heather is swept out of the boat into the stormy waters. When the weather clears, the survivors climb onto the upturned boat, unsure what to do next. Suddenly, a large cruise ship floats into view, and the survivors quickly board it, only to find no one on deck or in the halls. As they crisscross through the corridors of the ship, Jess begins to have an eerie sense of déjà vu. As they keep moving around the ship, a sudden noise catches their attention. What they find is a set of car keys, that are exactly like the set that Jess carries. No one is sure what this can mean, and the search continues. Jess splits up, only to then encounter Victor who is bleeding, and attempts to strangle her. Jess manages to escape, only to hear a gunshot. Finding herself in the theater of the ship, she finds Greg shot, with Sally and Downey accusing her of killing him. Suddenly, more gunshots ring out, with Sally and Downey being killed. Jess gives chase and soon encounters a masked figure with a shotgun. Finally confronting the figure, it speaks in a muffled speech through the mask, but not before pitching over the side into the ocean below. With everyone around her seemingly dead, and no idea who the masked person was, Jess goes to a cabin on the ship, only to hear yelling from off the boat a few moments later. Looking over the edge, she is shocked to see the overturned boat, and everyone, even herself, calling to be rescued. Jess soon realizes that she is trapped in a time loop that repeats itself when everyone on the ship is killed. The ship also seems to have certain areas that have experienced the same incident multiple times. In one area, Jess finds a locket she wore with her son's pictures inside hanging from a small grate. When she looks further inside, she sees there are multiples, as if this same incident has happened before. Another time, chasing a wounded Sally, she finds this version of Sally now askew in a part of the ship with multiple dead Sallys all around. Mentally fearful that she may never see her son again, Jess attempts to follow the events of what happened and kill everyone. She soon dons the mask and other clothing that she had seen previously, until in a confrontation with herself, she ends up falling off the ship. Jess awakes on a beach soon after and makes it back home, only to find herself there that morning, where the film started. However, this time, we hear the audio that was missing. And find out that Jess is blatantly angry with Tommy, cursing at him and yelling at him. Present Jess sneaks into the house, and using a hammer, bludgeons her past self to death. Unfortunately, Tommy witnesses this, and present Jess assures her son he just had a bad dream. Jess then takes the locket from her former self's neck, and puts the dead body in a black duffel bag, before putting it in her car's trunk. Jess then proceeds to drive her son to school, promising that things are going to be different from now on. As they drive along the ocean, a seagull suddenly slams into the windshield, leaving bloody streaks. Jess pulls over to retrieve the dead bird and throws it into the ocean. However, when she goes to throw it over the edge of the embankment, she sees something that causes her to pause, much like the multiple necklaces and Sally's from before. There are multiple dead seagulls pooled in the area where she was planning to dispose of the one she just hit. Jess disposes of the bird quickly and then rushes to get into her car. As they take off, Tommy begins to panic over the blood on the windshield. As Jess turns to calm her son, she turns into the oncoming traffic lane and ends up hitting a semi. In the aftermath, we see Jess watching the aftermath, as see her body and that of her sons lying on the highway. A man in a nearby taxi is observing this as well, saying that there's nothing that anyone can do now. Jess then requests the driver take her to the harbor. Jess then begins the cycle anew, intent to somehow prevent her son from dying all over again. To watch more video like this, click on the videos on your screen, and don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last I will say stay safe and stay healthy. See you next videos.